So today we are going to see the normal forms of context-free grammar. Okay, there are two possible normal forms in context-free grammars. One is Chomsky normal form and Greeback normal form. And why should we convert any CFG to normal form is that it reduces the complexity of the production rules. And if we try to derive any string, the time complexity required to derive any string will be getting reduced when we convert it into normal forms. Okay, so that is the main advantage of converting any CFG to normal forms. So the first normal form is Chomsky normal form and its short form is CNF. And the second normal form is Greeback normal form and its short form is GNF. Okay, so first of all we can see what is CNF or Chomsky normal form. So if all the productions in the CFG is of the form A gives BC or A gives A. Okay, if this is the format of the production rules in the context-free grammar, then we can say that that grammar is in Chomsky normal form. Okay, so you look into these two productions. In the first one, on the right hand side, we can see exactly two variables. Okay, it is exactly two variables. And here there is only a single terminal. Okay, so the production rule should be either in the first format or in the second format. Okay, so some of the productions may be in this category and some of the productions may be in this category. Okay, that's not a problem, but all the production rules should be either in this or this. Okay, not all, every production rule should be in this form or in this form. Okay, and if you have a production like this, A gives AB, this is not in the form, in the proper format, because on the right hand side we have a terminal instead of a variable, so this should not be allowed. And if we have a production rule like this will not be allowed, because if it is a single thing, that should be a terminal. Okay, and if we have a production rule like this, B, C, D, this also is not in the proper format, because there are three variables. Three variables are not allowed. Only exactly two variables are allowed. Okay, so all the other formats are invalid. Okay, if this is there, this is invalid, this one is invalid, this one is invalid. Okay, why this is invalid? Because instead of a variable we have a terminal. Okay, this is not allowed. And here instead of a single variable, okay, if it is a single thing, that should be a terminal. Okay, so instead of a terminal there is a variable, so this cannot be allowed. And here there are more than two variables there on the right hand side, that also not in the proper format. Okay, so these are the things we have to keep in mind. These are the only two possible formats of the context-free grammar. Okay, now we can see an example. And one more thing, if you want to convert any CFG into CNF, okay, so first of all we have to simplify the CFG. Okay, we have to simplify the CFG, then only the simplified CFG can be converted into Chomsky normal form or Greeback normal. Okay, so this is the thing we have to keep it in mind. First of all, we have to simplify the CFG, then only we can apply the normal forms. So let's take an example. Okay, so this is the example. S gives AAC, then A gives AAP or epsilon, then C gives ACA. Okay, so these are the productions we have. So first of all we have to simplify it. Okay, this production we have to simplify. So how do we simplify? In the first step we have to remove the epsilon productions. So remove the epsilon production. We have one epsilon production here. that is A gives epsilon is there, that has to be removed. Then we have to find out the new productions by substituting epsilon for this A. So we'll substitute AC. Okay, so for both A, then for both A substitute epsilon, we will get C. Then A gives AAB, then substitute epsilon for A, we will get AB. Then C gives AC or A. Okay, so epsilon productions we have removed. Now we have to remove the unit productions. Unit productions. Okay, so how many unit productions are there? Only this one is the unit production we have. So we can remove it, AAC and AC, and for C, instead of C we can substitute this part, AC or A. Then there is no more unit productions, so everything else we can take it as such. Okay, then we have to remove useless productions. Useless productions or symbols. Okay, we check whether there is any useless production. S gives AC can end up in a string. S gives AC can also end up in a string. S gives AC can also end up in a string. Okay, so all productions can end up in a string. So there is no useless symbol or useless production or symbol. Okay, so this is our simplified production. Now we have to apply we have to convert it into CNF. Okay, we have to convert it into CNF. So what does CNF says? In CNF, all productions should be of the form A gives BC or A gives A. Either a single terminal on the right hand side or two variables on the right hand side. So our simplified productions are like this. S gives AAC, AC and AC and A. Then A gives AAB or AB. And then C gives AC or A. So these are the production. This is the production rule after simplifying. So there is check whether any production rule is of the form this one or the first one or the second one. Okay, so this is not in the format, this is not in the format, this is in the format. It is in the first format, A gives BC format, S gives AC, only two variables are there. And this is not in the format, this is in the format because on the right hand side we have a single variable. And this is not in the format, and this is also not in the format. This is not in the format, this is in the format. Okay, so we have to convert all the invalid productions into valid format. Okay, so how can we do that conversions? Okay. Okay, so first let us take this first production. S gives AAC. Okay, so there are three variables. We have to reduce it into two variables. So what we do is, one possibility is take out these two expressions AA and let me initialize another variable D1, and D1 is given as AA. Okay, D1 can be substituted with the AA. So this S can be rewritten as, instead of AA I can write the variable D1, and the remaining part C. Okay. So this AA is substituted with the D1. Okay. Or in other words, I can say D1 is substituted with AA. D1 can be replaced with AA. So instead of this AA in this production, instead of AA, I write D1C. So how many variables on the right hand side? We have only two variables on the right hand side. So this is in the first format. This is in the first format. A gives BC format. So this is valid now, and whenever you write a new production, that should also be in the proper format. This is also in the format 1. Okay, on the right hand side we have two variables. So this one we have replaced. Okay, instead of this one we have written this. S gives D1C. D1 is our new production. D1 gives AA. Then S gives AC is already in the format. On the right hand side we have two variables. Okay. Then the next one is S gives AC. So there is a terminal over here. So what we do is we have to replace that terminal with a variable. Okay, so we write a new production like this. D2 gives A. So this is in format 2. Okay, on the right hand side we have a single terminal. So what we do, we will replace this production instead of this single A, letter A or the terminal A, we will write D2 and the C. Okay, so this is in the format 2. Okay, this is in this is in format 1. Okay, this is also in format 1. Okay, so instead of this one, we have replaced it like this. S gives D2 C. Then S gives A is there, that is already in the format. So all the productions for S is over. Now we have to find out the productions for A. Okay, A gives A, B. Okay, so there are three symbols are there and 3 is not allowed. And what else we can do? The different possibilities are there. We can do it in different ways. So either I can do so this A is for instead of A I can substitute D2. Okay, so I define a variable like D3 as D2A. Okay, so D2A. D2 is actually small letter A. This is like AA. This part, first part. Okay, so instead of this A, small letter A, I substituted D2, D2A, and those two variables assigned to D3. Okay, so D3 represents AA, small letter AA. Okay, and I can say D4 is B. Okay, so this is in format 2 and this is in format 1. Okay, different ways we can apply. Finally, we should have a single terminal on the right hand side or only two variables on the right hand side. That is how we are converting. So this I can replace. Can I replace this as A gives D3, D4? Is it possible? D3 represents D2A. And what is D2? D2 is actually small letter A. So D2 is actually small letter A, capital A. Okay, that is the first part of our right side. Then B, small letter B is there, small letter B, that is replaced with the D4. So D3, D4. So this is in the format 1. Okay, on the right hand side, two variables. Okay, so this is replaced with this one and these two new productions. Then A gives AB. Okay, this is also not in the. I have two terminals on the right hand side. So how do we replace what is A? A is actually D2. A is D2 and B is D4. Okay, so I can rewrite it as A gives D2 D4. Okay, so this is in now format 1. Okay, now what else we have to change? C gives A C. This has to be replaced. C gives A C. How we can replace? A can be replaced with D2 and C. Okay, so this is in format 1. So can you write, can we rewrite all these productions? So take out all the productions. Okay. So this is the first production. First one, second one, third one, fourth one, then fifth production, sixth production, seventh production. These are the reformatted productions of the existing one. Then we have some new productions for D4. Okay, this is 8th one, 9th one, 10th and 11th. So total 11 productions we have made. Okay, so list out in this proper format. I will rewrite this. So the new productions are S gives D1C, then S gives AC, S gives D2C, S gives A, then A gives D3, D4, A gives D2, D4, then C gives D2, C, C gives A, then the new productions are D1 gives AA, D2 gives A, D3 gives D2A, and D4 gives B. So these are the 8 productions. So this is the CFG in Chomsky normal form. You can check all productions should be of the form A gives BC or A gives small letter A terminal, 2 variables or a single terminal. So here we have 2 variables D1, C. Then here this is A, C, 2 variables. Here also 2 variables we have. Here a single terminal. Here 2 variables, 2 variables, 2 variables, single terminal. Here 2 variables, single terminal, 2 variables, single terminal. So all the productions are of the form this one or this one. Okay, so that is how we are converting any CFG to Chomsky normal form. So hope you understood this one. I will give some questions. So you have to solve all the questions. Okay, I will give only one question as of now. So the note down the question. S gives BA or AB, then A gives BAA or AS or A, then B gives ABB or BS or B. Okay, so you convert it into CNF. Okay, thank you.